Hello everybody and welcome back to Hardworking Man. Today we're putting this to the test. Yeah, it's a load handler. They've been out forever. But how did I make it just come up to the end of the truck with the push of a button? I'm going to share that with you. We're going to also bring a load of scrap metal to the scrapyard and put 3,000 pounds of stone on this and see if it'll pull it. You're not going to want to miss it. So I just built my adapter for this the other day, and I was at the landfill getting some stuff dumped out, and I just threw it up and I recorded a short real quick while I was trying it. It was literally the first time I'd ever attempted to use it, and it worked awesome. That short it's over 600,000 views right now, and a lot of the comments on there were like, I just put a tarp in my truck and do the same thing. I put a piece of carpet. It's just a load handler. They've been out since the 80s. Yes, this is a load handler. It's a LH3000, I think. They're heavy-duty load handler, and that's what it is. In the bed of my truck, I have a sheet of smooth plastic because I've got fifth wheel or gooseneck rails in there, so you have to put that over. You want a smooth surface for this load handler to slide on. But my biggest gripe I ever had with that load handler was the handle they give you to crank it. It's a long bar that goes in a slot, and the spinning portion of it is just a like threaded steel tube with a plastic piece on it. It was just sort of chintzy in my opinion, and when you're really moving weight, which we're going to attempt to do later in this video with over 3,000 pounds of stone in here, it can be a pain. It can be a lot of work. And I think with the torque jack that I'm using in conjunction with the load handler and my, I guess, adapter that I made, I think we're going to be able to unload that gravel with just the push of a button, just pulling the trigger of the drill. And I think it's gonna be awesome. If you wanna see if that works, be sure to stick around. I'd appreciate a thumbs up on this video. This is something I thought of all on my own. I just came up with it when I saw the torque jack, which I'll show you more about that and what it's actually designed for and why I bought it. I didn't buy it for this. I bought it for my heavy trailers, and it works awesome for that. Now with these load handlers, a big part about using them successfully is how you load. If you have stuff jammed behind the wheel wells, like firewood, if you fill this up with firewood, you have to manually get the wood out from behind the wheel wells, and sometimes here. Anything that can get stuck on here or behind the wheel wells will cause you problems. And I've seen people that use these and they're like, oh, they're junk, blah, blah, blah. They're not junk. They're actually really nice and really handy, especially for smaller loads or getting into tight neighborhoods to deliver firewood, but you have to load them correctly. Off to the scrapyard. Let's see how she does with this load. All right, the scrapyard is pretty busy today, so hopefully this works well, because I got to get it in and out of here pretty quick so I can get to the ag yard in time and get some stone. We are just pulling in. It is 3:32, and hopefully we'll be out of here by 3:40. All right, well, we just got across the scales coming in. It's 3:40, so we really got to move now. All right, I think this guy's sitting here. He was gonna pull it off with the magnet, but that won't work for my video. We gotta see, get the torque jack in here and hope this all just pulls right off. Here we go. And there it is. It took us 1 minute about to unload that. Go back through the scales, and we're out of here. $8,500 pounds coming in. Let's see what we just got rid of. £660. All right, there it is. They scaled us out at 680 pounds. I got $52, so I got some money to get some stone. Let's get to the ag yard before they close. All right, we made it in time. We're about to scale in to get our empty weight. Then we're getting 3,000 pounds of 21 AA brown to fill a low spot in my driveway. And this is going to be the ultimate test for this new system that I just set up. It's a load handler LH3000, a torque jack, and an adapter that I made myself, and then a Milwaukee cordless drill. £7,880. Let's go get some stone. Looks tiny in that giant bucket. Filling up the old dually. All right, here we are scaling out. Let's see how many pounds of stone we got in. 10,600. These guys are pretty good with those scale loaders. Okay, so before we go and try to unload 2,720 pounds of 21 AA, let me show you a little bit about what I'm working with here. So here's a trailer with a typical S handle. This is my dump trailer. I know when I did my short, people are like, just get a dump trailer. Well, I have one. It's a monster. It's one of the best trailers made. N&N trailers, galvanized, won't rust, from Thumb Trailer in Sandusky, Michigan. But you don't always want to tow this if you just need a little bit of stone like that. If you don't have the money for a dump trailer like this, that's why I'm showing you this. So this is your typical S handle. It's pretty easy to do now, but when this trailer's full, which sometimes I have it full of logs, full of stone, whatever, and I have to take it off, I mean, you have to crank this. And if you follow Hardworking Man, you'll know that about, what, a month and a half ago, we got T-boned by a gravel train. So it was me, my wife, and my, I guess, third oldest child, right? Third oldest child, Nathan, and we got T-boned by a gravel train. I had jobs to do. I had a skid steer. My skid steer was rented out. I had firewood to deliver. I could barely move for a couple of weeks, but I still had work to do. There's no way I was going to be jacking one of these trailers up with a skid steer on it and like this. I was in too much pain. So in comes this. I bought this, I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I am hooking up and unhooking my trailers all the time. I've got this, I've got an equipment trailer. It's just no fun with them S handles. So what is this? This is a torque jack. It's made by Heline Innovations. I'll put a link in the description. But I mean, this thing's awesome. I saw it, I said, I gotta have it. You just take your S handle off, and then you just put this on. Slide a pin through. And now you can do it like this if it's empty or whatever, which is much nicer than the S handle. But you can also do it like this. You just hold this, pull the trigger on your drill, and you're jacking your trailer up, reverse the drill, you're lowering it down. Super easy. So when I got this, I said, you know what? I bet I can make an adapter so I can use my load handler with it. And that's what we're working on now. Now, if you think that S handle on trailers is bad, you should see the handle they give you with this. This is actually the name brand load handler, cargo truck unloader, whatever you want to call it. They make cheaper ones. I decided, you know what, I'm going to get the better one. Do it right or do it twice. This is a solid steel bar. I don't know if the cheaper ones are or not. I can't imagine they're the same, because this one was a little over $200 and you can get them for like 50 bucks sometimes. But how this works is you put the mat in here. Like I said, I've got that smooth plastic. And then when you're doing a heavy load, there's these straps that you hook to the bumper to stop your tailgate from lifting up. So we'll get those fastened. And then this is how you use this from the store. And this is why I thought there's got to be a better way. This is a strap of steel that's bent and literally a bolt with a plastic piece over it that always comes loose. You put this in here and you crank. And I mean, you can see that bar is bowing in, but this is the max pretty much. This is rated for 3,000 pounds. And you can do this. Rachel probably couldn't. Maybe not everyone can, but that is where this comes into play. I made this. This is me testing it. It's an adapter, so I can run that torque jack. I mean, it's pretty simple. If anyone's interested in these, I'll make a much nicer one. This is my first prototype. But so you can run this with the torque jack. You put this through here, put the pin, and then just hook your torque jack to it. You can see I had to do my holes twice because, like I said, this is a prototype. I made it at night in the garage after a day of work. And now we are gonna see. I could spin it like that, or we'll see if the drill can do it. We'll put it in low for a little more torque. And I think it's gonna do well, but we're about to find out. Now, another thing you can get for the torque jack is Nate's Sidewinder. It's to wind up your straps, your ratchet straps. And if you use code HWM free, if you buy one of these, you'll get a free Sidewinder. So you hold this handle, you put this on, it is a 9/16, and you pull the trigger. I'm gonna stop for a second because I wanna record a short of this. Here we go, let's unload 3,000 pounds in a couple of seconds with the pull of a trigger. I need to build a better adapter for sure. But she's going. I need to grease this torque jack. It's not broken yet. But she's doing it. Now we're on easy street. 3,000 pounds, unloaded in a couple of seconds. And I didn't have to sit here and crank and crank and crank. I'm gonna say that's a huge win. There it is. There you have it. All right, so that worked pretty well, I would say. Not perfect. My adapter here needs some work, which is why this is a prototype. But I think you have to agree that absolutely beat the heck out of using this. I would be breathing heavy. You guys would be having to listen to it. I think because I'm on an angle here, this got wrapped down a little. So it was snagging on itself there at the end, which didn't help. Tore it up a little on the edge, but I mean, this stuff, you can tear it. I tore it here, I caught it on something sharp. You just put duct tape on it. And I took a small pole here. It was actually a tonneau cover support, and I hooked it in. So when I slide in the IBC totes, or when I put that scrap stove in, it just gives me something easier. It's like a sail bar to pull it out and stack it up. And I mean, the load handler 3000, the torque jack, and the hard-working machines, I think is what I'm gonna call it, my little company of making stuff, adapter. And like I said, I'll be making better ones of these. If you're interested, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll get a batch produced. So, for the first run of the prototype, we did firewood, we did scrap steel, we did almost 3,000 pounds of stone. That's nice. If you don't have a dump trailer, or even if you do, that's something you might want to add. I'll put links to all these parts and pieces, except for the adapter that I made myself. And if you want one, like I said, let me know, and I'll make them available on the hardworkingmanoutdoors.com website. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.